Um,
I understand you own a depot,
yeah,
and the last you had that was. Do you remember when?
about a month and a half ago.
Yeah. What's happened? How come you missed it? It's because it's supposed to be weekly, isn't it?
Change of circumstance. I had to change where I was living
Uh huh. So
just
where?
for personal reasons.
Right. So where were you living?
I was living at a pub.
Is that your dad's?
Yeah,
Okay. And now
Alistair.
recently, and you've moved now.
Recently had a fallout. Him being a boss and trying to be a guardian didn't really, go hand in hand.
Okay. And therefore you moved.
Yeah.
And where are you currently at?
I'm in Bristol at the moment, back and forth.
Okay. Do you have a place to live in Bristol?
Well, I'm just couch surfing at the moment, so I'm just taking each day to the next. So, you couch surfing?
Oh right. Okay.
Do you know?
Okay.
Sofa surfing.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And so you back and forth. You come down to Taunton
We'll just say, for instance, today was,
just to see us.
yeah.
And where do you live in Taunton? Do you have a place to stay?
Well, the couch that I'm surfing on at the moment, he's a previous psychiatric nurse. So, in terms of me being on a psychiatric wing for the past 4 months, I needed someone that kind of knew the symptoms and knew what they were talking about, rather than some matey that had no knowledge of what he was talking about. Every time I'd go to talk to him, this being Alistair, he would just shut me down and tell me that you were ill and you needed medication. So I've been on olanzapine and quetiapine over the past 2 years.
Alistair is.
That's my dad.
That's your dad.
Dad.
Is it Marco you're living with at the moment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark.
Mark.
Okay.
That's his nickname, just call him Marco.
Oh, okay, I see.
Rolls off the tongue better.
Okay.
So you don't have a house at the moment. You don't have an
No,
accommodation.
well, me and Matsu, fortunately, this appointment was booked in advance. We had a fallout. Fortunately, we've managed to compromise and, aspire to the greater good, that being our mental health.
I understand you don't have a care coordinator at the moment.
It is Guy.
I think he might have
It's
been.
just it's out of his jurisdiction or catchment area, kind of. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, because we'll have to sort out an accommodation if you currently you don't have one.
Accommodation, no. As I said, just sofa surfing at the moment and trying to figure out the next move.
Ideally, where would you want to live?
Well, there's no particular place. It's just needs some direction. I went in. I had a psychometric test for the Navy. Although naively, I met this other skateboarder, and he kind of like made me see some senses from his perspective. So I didn't take the test. I just told them that I didn't have 20/20 vision and just walked out. And as far as my mental health is, have you both seen my records, or what do you think my chances are of getting into the services with my past records?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, they would probably do their own assessment, is what I would think.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what the chances would be because that would be their decision.
Yeah. When you saw my medical record, what was your initial? How are you going to approach this? What are you looking for? Kind of. Do you know what I mean?
So you've had some difficulties with drugs, is that right?
I've got quite an addictive personality.
Yeah. So how is that at the moment?
Cannabis is the only, and nicotine are the only real issues in my life at the moment. Hadn't been the case over the past 2 years. It's just recently I've kind of, stumbled into the dark path and kind of lost my sight into where I was going.
So you're still taking cannabis?
Currently, yes.
And so how often do you?
Daily, it's probably about a couple of grams.
Couple grams, okay. Have you ever had a period where you didn't take any drugs?
Yeah, the past 2 years, prior to seeing Mark again, Mark Cole.
Do you notice any differences between that time and now?
Yeah, definitely in terms of my habits and motivation towards where I'm going and my day-to-day routine.
So if you could tell me a little bit about the differences.
Well, it's just structure.
Yeah.
It's all about structure, and there's no structure to my lifestyle at the moment.
Yeah.
There's no, like, I've got literally nothing to lose. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've slept all sorts, anywhere, everywhere. Like, I hitchhiked to Amsterdam, then to the south of France, and slept on a rock for like 4 days. I slept outside, just get a tent. It's going to be kind of like a revolving door kind of thing. It won't really get me anywhere. It'll give me the illusion that I'm going somewhere, but not really anywhere.
Okay. So you can see the pros and cons of taking cannabis, I suppose.
Not being on medication, it's more of a self-medication.
Yeah.
Although obviously I do understand the risks and know the potential disasters.
When you say you're self-medicating, what are you self-medicating?
Cannabis.
No, I'm sorry, what I meant was what are the symptoms that you're trying to medicate?
Well, for instance, last night,
Yeah.
no alcohol, a few joints, didn't sleep, still not tired. Well, the same happened the previous night, didn't sleep, 2 days, 1 night. Not eating, not drinking water, not taking the time to care for myself in ways that should be.
So you're smoking the cannabis to stop those things from happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It is so I can eat, sleep, and forget really.
What are you trying to forget?
Just past stuff. I've kind of gone into detail with previous counselling sessions, so I don't really want
No, you don't need to go there.
to dig up
But just forgetting
skeletons.
past issues that you've had. Okay.
You can keep looking into issues and look for reasons. You can make sense of it in your own mind. It won't really get you anywhere. You just got to find a way, if you've got emotion, to channel that emotion in productive ways. Which is the main problem with cannabis. It kind of just numbs everything.
Yeah, that's which is why I wondered. I mean, is that a habit that you would want to give up?
Yeah, in the foreseeable future.
Is that a recent future? I mean, are you ready for that now, or do you think?
No.
No. Okay.
There's burning bridges that need to be rebuilt, and yeah.
Okay. But the thing with cannabis, of course, you're talking about a disrupted routine and structure to your life, and cannabis can keep that going, because that itself is, I mean, the fact that you're not able to take care of yourself, cannabis will only worsen that.
To an extent, anything in excess is bad. Cannabis was just always my weapon of choice growing up. I never used to drink, didn't do hard drugs. That's really about it. I did go to Amsterdam this Valentine's Day, and I did get tricked into doing crack, which wasn't too pleasant upon finding out. And being off my face, sitting in a coffee shop with a guitar, just off my rocker. Then resultingly, I didn't sleep for 3 days, got trained to Brussels, and ended up in a psychiatric ward. I slept at the airport for a few days. And yeah, it's different out there. It's different. You have to pay for your healthcare. It's subsidised.
I'd be lucky to have
Yeah. Well, just to think that somebody could get sectioned through no fault of their own or no intention of their own, or vice versa, and potentially get slapped with a $3,500 bill like I did at the end of your stay. Unfortunately, being British, was able to get across the border.
I wondered how, so you're obtaining cannabis now, how are you funding that?
Well, my money situation isn't a situation to talk about.
Is that something that's concerning?
There's people that owe me money, so I've just got to make sure I get that money back.
Okay, because you're couch surfing. It's just I'm worried because you don't have an accommodation as well, so I just wondered about things like finances. I mean, you do have to keep yourself alive.
Yeah, you know, like
to feed yourself.
as far as my bare necessities are, yeah, it's fine really. It's fine. Well, as far as this Clippertol Depop injection, what do you recommend upon kind of?
Well, can I just go back? So presumably you're not having any benefits, any money from the state? No. Because in order to get that, you'd have to have a fixed abode. That's the only.
Yeah. Well, look, I think we've covered most bases. What are kind of your opinions of me from like first glance? I'm quite good with my words, so when I talk, I can kind of like make it seem like I'm not exhibiting certain symptoms with regards to like voices and whatnot.
So talking about symptoms, how has your mood been?
Fairly like, I have been diagnosed with bipolar. Was that not on my record?
Bipolar, and who diagnosed you with bipolar disorder?
Dr. Dickinson.
Okay. Right, okay, because you're not on a mood stabilizer, are you?
No.
Just on bipolar.
No. Well, honestly, the best situation is just to kind of rest his mind, because obviously he knows that I've been a revolving door patient and he just doesn't want to see that happen again.
Yeah. I'll chat with him, but I also need to chat with you alone before I chat with him, because you might want to say things that you wouldn't want him to know.
Yeah, well, I think I've said kind of everything that was, on my mind.
Just a few other questions. So you said your mood is...
It's good.
Okay. And so the voices, are you hearing voices?
Occasionally.
Okay. Can you describe them?
They're more kind of like insecurities.
Okay.
So I'm walking a certain way or do something like an action or a movement. Let's say go into the bathroom, like there'll be voices like clean your teeth, you're dirty, you're filthy, get a life, get clean.
Is it more like almost like a running commentary of what you're doing at the time, like you're describing there, like instructions of what you should be doing next?
Sometimes I get these kind of grandiose visions and plans where my mind gets deluded into thinking it's something that it's not, Okay. What's real and what's not real, and how do you perceive it to be real?
Anything like that happened recently?
Okay, so about 2 months ago, 4th of July, must have been about 10 to 4, got to 4, right when the bell was about to dime. I hadn't slept in 3 days. Thought there was a masked man, Heisenberg in white, medicine mask. Opened the door. For some reason, the room was quite large. It's about 15 meters. He's taking his time. Don't think he realizes that my eyes are just staring into his soul. And then I see a gun, and my mind's just racing, like what do I do? So I just pointed out the obvious, that it's a potential life sentence. You know, you've got 3 doors, 4 doors to escape from. After that, you've got the A roads and getting out, and how you needed a silencer and stuff like that. And then I shouted at the top of my lungs. I said, like, Alistair, I just shouted. And then generally thinking it was a delusion, because the room was a complete boxes everywhere. From what I saw over the course of 5 minutes was a matey crawling to a point where he could aim in. And in my mind, yeah, I thought I was going to die.
And had you been taking cannabis at that point?
Well, no, that was being completely sober.
Okay.
And the strange thing is that immediately after, so this was quite funny, while, whether it was real or not, the coat or handgun, whatever, I managed to get a suitcase up and kind of hold it, because I had suitcases all around my bed, so I grabbed the suitcase and held it up. And I had like a bottle of glass water that I was gonna throw. And then yeah, I passed it off as delusion. Had a doctor's appointment the next day, Dr. Pedran, lovely guy. Expressed my worries, and he managed to get me into a psychiatric ward that night. And even to this day, I, still get anxiety and paranoia with regards to these people that want to harm me and my family.
Who are these people?
Just bad people.
Why do you think they're going to harm you and your family?
I just know it. Just brewing. Something's brewing.
One other important question is, any acts of self-harm? Any thoughts of suicide? Any plans or intent? Sorry, that's just, I do have to ask those questions. I'm happy to chat with Mark if you want me to chat with him. Yeah. What do you think? We can chat with him? Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice one. But just, kind of ease his mind. And don't, he might mention, maybe just don't talk. No, I feel a bit paranoid now.
That's up to you. I mean, we're here for you, so.
Well, how about I'll speak to him first,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there. Well, what do you recommend personally?
Well, yes, you should go back on your depot, but it's just the accommodation.
Yeah, well, that's my problem, not yours. You don't need to worry about that.
But like what Nikki was saying, you have to have a fixed abode, so that because we need to give the depot every week. Isn't it?
Well, maybe Mark can pull some strings.
It doesn't quite work like that. I think what you would need to do is, because your depot is weekly.
It's weekly, yeah.
Weekly, so it would be the same day every week. So you'd need to come back here for the depot every week.
Okay.
So that's why when we say fixed abode, ideally it's the same place, but certainly at least be in Taunton. We can't do some in Taunton, some in Bristol. It all has to be one place. Because also they need to order the medication in, and it all has to be signed for, and it all has to be the same day every week.
Yeah.
Would that be a problem for you? Do you think getting hit the same day every week?
It might be. It really might be. That's something to think about, because I don't want to waste your time, the NHS's time, resources.
Is this something that initially would be weekly but could be stretched out longer?
That's true, yeah. I think what happens is that you would initially get your depot every week, and then we have to see you in about 3 or 4 weeks' time to see how your symptoms are. And based on that, we decide the dose and the frequency of the depot. But at least for the first month.
Okay, well, have a chat with Mark, and then see what the situation is.
So really, you're looking at having it like as a commitment for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, I just
then-
really don't think it's gonna happen because I'm not really gonna be in the right area. Let me speak to Mark and then
Okay.
see what we can do. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, do you want to consider having it today?
Yeah,
Just so you know that you've.
just
Would that be something
just to ease his mind, I reckon.
Yeah. Do you think?
Do you want to bring Mark in? Or do you want to chat?
Is he
not
here?
really. Could I just get the injection? Can I just get the
Well,
injection
we've
now?
got we've I've provisionally got one of our colleagues at 12:30
Yeah.
because we can't we don't do it ourselves, so
What's
we
the
get
time now?
it's 12:10 now, so only
Okay.
20 minutes.
So 12:30.
Yeah.
Cool. Can we just wait till 12:30 and get the injection and then take
Yeah.
the next step the next week? And then if I don't turn up 1 week or next week, just cancel it. Is that?
Well, I mean, you want it to have the greatest effect for you as well, don't you? So it'd be good to try and.
Really, it's just everybody around me telling me that medication is the way. In my mind, it's not.
But if that can give you the alternative to the benefit you're getting from the cannabis, once that's in place and you start getting the benefit from it, then you can at some point start looking at reducing the cannabis.
Mm.
But you'll have the depot replacing what the cannabis does for you without the numbness.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm. Well, 12:30 sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Is Mark in the waiting room with you?
Yeah.
Do you want?
I prefer you.
It's entirely up to
Yeah.
you. but-
Yeah. I prefer not if I'm honest. If we
Okay,
can just
that's
sort the
fine.
injection out,
Okay.
Okay.
sorted.
I'll have to prescribe it. So if you want to wait in the reception.
That's not.
Okay.
Thank you. Cheers.
Can be a bit amazing. Right.
Thank you. I'm gonna wait till after 12.